Hey, welcome back. You're all doing well tonight. We're gonna be playing more Follow Justice Ace Attorney. Of course. It was all in the plan. Can't hear myself over this music right now. Need to turn that down a little bit. Anyway. I forgot what I was going to say. Must not have been that important. Well, on that note, let's continue. Last time we left off, we just started the first day of the trial. We were kind of thrust into this position, defending, I believe his name is Maki Tobae. I want to start from this save point, please. Right. So we have to defend Maki Tobae for the murder of Romain Letus. And so we start at our first testimony here by Emma Sky. I remember last time my internet was like cutting out a bit, so I had to stop a bit early. Or at least earlier than I would have liked. That's fine though. I feel like it worked out in the end because I mean, I get to start at the very start of the trial, so it's a better cutoff point at the end of the day. This music might be a bit too loud for you guys. Let's try that. Alright. I'm gonna read the whole thing again, I guess. Can't talk. Anyway. Emma. Your voice. I'm trying to find it somewhere in my throat. The night of the murder, I was on security backstage at Prosecutor Gavin's request. Press. The night of the murder was the night of the concert, yes? That's right. Emma and I are in sync. Are you me? That's right. What was a detective doing on security detail, might I ask? If it was only a concert. My thoughts exactly. But orders are orders, even when they come from the rock gods. Professor Gavin? Oh, Prosecutor Gavin. I made that same mistake before. Sorry. We're in a fucking courtroom. Why would it not be prosecutor? I'm like half reading right now. My eyes are kind of all over the place. Trying to look at my stream stuff at the same time. Look at me making excuses. I'm just illiterate, am I? Clavier. Right. I smelled something that day, you might say. A stench of conspiracy. That day at the concert hall. Conspiracy? Well, isn't it obvious? My keys! That whole morning, no, the whole day was ruined. And it's all because someone stole my keys. I couldn't ride my hog to the show, I couldn't open my guitar case. There he goes again. Isn't it possible he simply misplaced them? Misplaced them? Misplaced items don't just wander into a murder victim's hand on their own. What's this? Prosecutor Gavin, if your keys were in the victim's hand, that makes you a prime suspect.
Rock out! Yow!
Love, slow acting and new. Atrocanine is waiting for you. I don't know how to pronounce that. Is that like a goddess? A Greek goddess or something? He's singing something. Does everything with this guy have to be so over the top? Yes. The killing happened in the middle of my concert. I was like a sailor adrift on the sea of sound. Anyway, I didn't want anything else stolen. So I put the detective with the most time on her hands on the task. I see. I can accept that. Well, I can't. What do you mean time on their hands? Please, the testimony. No one cares about Emma's well-being. Well, Emma, I do. We were let in, though. I didn't know about that. I certainly didn't invite you. I gave the Fraulein special permission to be there. I wanted to see her again. Oh boy, did you hear that? We're officially involved now. Gee, great. Some other hangers-on tried to get backstage, but I drove them off. So no other outsiders were there then. And then, at the beginning of the third set, I heard shots. So did I. I believe we were having a chat when we heard the shots. You were the one chatting. I was eating snackoos. Oh, hey, no snacking in court. Oh, she's got snackoos in the courtroom. And you're sure the shots came from Memoir's room? Yes, absolutely. Hey, I'm the one being cross-examined here. Here, this'll keep you quiet. Oh, snackoomy. Katonk. Thanks. He's blushing. I was eating it too. And he's really grown fond of getting snackooed. So, how about it, Emma? You were right there. Hard to be mistaken about that. Please, either talk or eat. Not both at the same time. Yeah. Right, so after that, me and Mr. Lawyer there opened the dressing room door. I went into the room, filled with blaring rock music, and found the body. Oops. Let me go back. No. I pressed A to speed up the text, but it was too close to the end. Sorry. Rock? Blaring, yes. When you say rock, are you referring perhaps to this rock and roll music that's so popular these days? That's right. When we went to the dressing room. Guilty Love. Music was blaring over the speaker on the wall. They piped sound from the stage into the backstage through speakers. Oh, that's Emma. That way people in the back can hear when they're supposed to be on stage. Did it have to be so loud? You don't listen to the Gaviners with your ears. You feel it with your entire body and soul. I always have the backstage monitors at full volume. Oh, she's got the glasses on. When we walked into the room, the band was playing Guilty Love, I believe, making it easy to determine the time of the crime. If you could hear that music playing, then everyone on stage for that song has an alibi, including myself. Anyway, I closed off the scene and started my investigation. I examined the scene and determined that only the defendant could have done it. Really? Hey, Nivius. Welcome. Hope you're having a good night. How could you know something like that? As I said, it was clear from the circumstances. You're in here early tonight, I must say. Listen, we know there was only one exit from the room. That door. The small window only opened a tiny crack. And I was standing in front of that door. So,
How could the killer have fled the scene? There's only one possibility. The air vent.
My day is going well. Thank you very much. Yeah, I was about to make the low-hanging, Amogus joke. Sus. Oh. But that air vent was too small. Who could possibly?
Exactly. There's certainly no way you could get through, nor me. The only one who could fit through was a child.
A child?
Remember, access to those rooms was limited. Only those involved with the concert were allowed.
And of all the people involved with the concert, only one is small enough to be considered a child. The defendant.
The pixie of the arpeggio flitted up toward the sky
And disappeared from the scene of the crime. But that's just conjecture.
Oh? There was no other way out of that room. You were there. You should know.
Her forehead.
And there is another vital piece of evidence.
Evidence? What?
Marks were found on the air vent grill.
Really?
Traces that it had recently been opened.
Wait, what?
And something else was found, quite clearly. The defendant, Maki Tobae's...
What? I didn't read that fast enough. Order! 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 That air vent was the only way out of the room. The defendant's fingerprints were found on the grill. Okay, they were fingerprints. Well, her forehead? What fairy tale does this suggest to you? Only one could pass through that vent, that doorway to heaven. And that one is our pixie. This is bad.
Why are you looking at me, Apollo? Hey, I was out whooping it up in the audience.
So this was his decisive evidence. Yeah, I want to see Truce's dance moves. I bet she could pull some, like, wacky shit with Mr. Hat. Quite decisive indeed. I believe that's enough of that. Prosecution has a rather convincing case. The only way in and out of the crime scene was watched, making the defendant the only one who could possibly leave the scene. Simple and decisive. I believe we've heard enough to determine our verdict. Even if I wasn't in a hurry to make a hospital visit. Oh right, he has to visit someone's dying kid. I'm sure the Chief Justice will appreciate the gesture. Oh right, the Chief Justice's son. Unfortunately, we have no direct witnesses. Fortunately, the criminal left decisive evidence for us. That will have to be enough. Can't be over already. Very well. I believe this trial is finished. Wow. Speedrun trial. If the defense has no contradicting evidence, the prosecution has presented our proof, clear and plain. If you have contradicting evidence, it better be clear and plain.
Apollo, they've got us on the ropes already. You better come up with something quick.
I know. Think, what can get us out of this? We need evidence or a witness that can prove Maki is innocent without a doubt. Without that... Mr. Justice, do you have contradicting proof that can overturn the prosecution's case? Do we? Contradicting proof. We have this brooch found at the crime scene. That might be it. I mean, that is proof, right? I still don't know what this message is supposed to say, though. It's all smeared. If you do, you better tell us about it now.
This is it, and so soon. If I mess this one up, it's all over. The court wants contradicting proof? Present witness, present evidence, or I don't have proof. So I could call Bamoir, right? Because Lettuce said that in his dying breath that the siren was a witness. But that's just... I mean, that's not really proof, right? We can say that Lettuce had a dying breath, had a dying message, a dying wish that he's told us, but no one was there to back it up. So I think we should just present the brooch. The defense is prepared to show contradicting evidence. This should be interesting. What sort of evidence?
Yes, what sort of evidence, Mr. Justice? Show us evidence contradicting the prosecution's claims.
Here you go. This evidence does more than contradict. It flips the whole case on its head. Think I got it right? Thank you for presenting evidence that is both clear and plain, as requested.
Yes, clearly and plainly wrong. I'm afraid the only thing flipped on its head...
What? Huh? Are you kidding me?
Was you as a child, Mr. Justice?
Oh, that was harsh. I guess that wasn't it. Maybe I'm skipping a few steps here, even though that brooch was definitely evidence that someone else could have done it. Alright, let's try the witness route. Court wants contradicting proof, let's call a witness. Prosecutor Gavin, you claim that there were no witnesses to this crime. Are you absolutely sure? Absolutely. I'd swear it on my career as a prosecutor. And on my million-seller hit song. Okay, I need to, like, look this up. Because this is bothering me quite a bit. Atroquin. Oh, it's a poison. Atroquinine is a synthetic substance that is extremely poisonous to humans. It's lethal at 2 micrograms. Wow. Paralyzes the nervous system. Oh, it's made up. Yeah, because the first result is a Ace Attorney wiki, and not, like, an official Wikipedia article or anything like that. Man. Did they really have to make up a poison? I mean, there's, like, a lot of poisons you could reference, I feel. What's that one called? There's this one poison, right? Strychnine. Something like that, right? That's a poison. Maybe it's a play on that. But I feel like I don't know. Making up poisons is kind of unnecessary. There he goes again. That's too bad, because there was a witness.
Oh, really now? But how did you come to possess knowledge the prosecution clearly does not?
Because I am the only one in the world who knows this. Okay, apparently the court would believe me on that, but they won't believe me on presenting physical evidence that was in the room. Sure. What's going on? I just talked to him and now... No. He's alive. Mr. Letus, can you hear me?
Cold. So cold. Witness.
Cold. Don't worry. You're going to be fine. Help is on the way.
Can't see.
Hang in there, Mr. Letus. Tell me, who was the witness?
The witness is Siren. What? The victim said this before he died?
Perhaps he did. And perhaps he did not. What do you mean by that? All we know is what her forehead says. Sorry. All we know is what Herr 4 said.
I need water.
Man, how do audiobook narrators do their job? I guess they do. They do multiple takes, right? All we know is what her forehead says he said. They don't, without many bloopers? Yeah, I'm sure. It's no testimony, especially since it comes from the defense attorney himself. But it's the truth. You said it. I even told you about it. But apparently, you ignored me completely. It's my policy to fully investigate everything I deem relevant. Clearly, this rookie lawyer thinks he can tell me how to do my job.
That's enough. Mr. Justice, we need clear contradictory proof from you. This witness of yours, unknown to the prosecution. I hope you're right. Failure carries a stiff penalty.
Perhaps a stiffer penalty than usual is called for. Clavier, why can you just do this? What have I done to you? How does he have so much power? This isn't fair. No, there's no backing out now.
Let's hear the name of your witness, Mr. Justice.
It is Lamour. Age 40.
Lamour?
Doesn't look a day over 25. Recall Mr. Letus's last words.
The witness.
Prosecution is the court favorite, of course. Yeah, I guess so.
Siren. The siren. Aha. He meant the siren. With a capital S.
That's right. The siren of the ballad.
Lamour.
Lamour was only on stage for the second set. And she had access to the backstage area. She could have been a witness.
I see. Oh, Prosecutor Gavin?
My claim still stands. There is no witness to this crime.
Very well. Let's hear it from the horse's mouth then, shall we? We will now take a break from Detective Emma Sky's cross-examination. Please show Lamour to the witness stand.
Lamour would say nothing the night of the murder. Not today, though. Today we'll drag that story out of her no matter what it is. Hello. It is my distinct honor to welcome the Siren of the Ballad to our courtroom. You are too kind.
Oh, you can speak English?
Yes, I can. Though I am not very good. There is much I do not know.
You speak so well. Have you spent time here before?
Actually, I do not know how I came by my knowledge of your language, nor where I studied it.
Huh? What does she mean she doesn't know? Yeah, she's under contract.
I too thought to call her as a witness, but I did not. I had a reason, of course.
What's that?
Omar suffers from amnesia.
Really? That's new. Amnesia.
Omar is not my true name. Yet I remember nothing of the time before I was given it. Nothing of the time before I started singing on stage.
Whoa, she's even more mysterious than I thought.
As lauded singer Lamar, she lives a good life. There are little difficulties for her thanks to her success. Yet, I did not wish to subject her to unnecessary stress.
I see. I care surprisingly little about people's pasts. Really? I feel like that's not a very good personality trait to have in a court of law, you know? Background checks and all that. You have nothing to fear in this court, Lamar.
Thank you. Yet, there is something I do not understand. I am being called as a witness? What might I say? No one will tell me anything of what happened. Lamar, let me be frank. I did not want to ask you up here to testify. Yet, that young gentleman with the wide forehead over there was adamant that you stand.
Oh my. Congratulations, Apollo. You're the bad guy.
Ugh. Well, now that you're here, please give us your testimony. If nothing else, the sound of your voice is welcome. Tell us what you saw the night of the crime.
Alright, what I saw. I suppose in court you could look at the context of the person in front of you. In front of you for only the crime they are in for. Past instances play a part, but nothing matters as much as the current case at the hand, I guess. I suppose. There's truth to that. An admirable trait in my book. You know what? I honestly didn't think of it that way. I guess it just depends. It always depends. As for what I saw nothing. That night, I was invited to sing on stage, and this I did. Yeah, always context. Gotta remember it. I did not return backstage after the second set. Then I was led by the police to Mr. Gavin's dressing room and told to wait there. That was where I learned that something had happened, but I wasn't told the details.
I must say, you sound wonderful just testifying.
Hope he was too distracted to hear what she was actually saying. There you have it. She saw nothing that night. Now, we can only pray that the defense has the sense to admit defeat and refrain from detaining her here longer than need be.
Wow, you just got better, Apollo. Way to go.
Yeah, you know what they say, ladies love bad guys.
Very well, Mr. Justice. Keep it short and sweet.
Lamar wouldn't talk to me the night of the crime. She must know something, and I've got to find out what.
But you must have seen something. Mr. Latus named you.
Mr. Latus? How can I tell you what I don't know?
Lamar, he said you were a witness with his dying words.
I do not know what he meant to say, but that night...
Yes, you did. It was a great concert.
You heard me sing? Thank you.
I was hoping to get an autograph later, actually.
Of course.
Mr. Justice, this is a cross-examination. You're out of line. If anyone deserves an autograph here, it's me. One of my gavel would be nice. Herr Judge. What's this? It's my autograph. Now keep this trial moving. What? Oh, my grandchild would be so happy. Apparently his grandson is a big fan. Let us continue, shall we? If you would, Lamar. Tell us what you did after your stellar performance. You did not return backstage once? Where were you then? What were you doing?
I was cleaning up on stage. There are many things I must do for a performance other than simply sing.
And was Maki with you at the time?
Unfortunately, I do not know where he was.
So much for an alibi for Maki.
Then I was led by the police to Mr. Gavin's dressing room and was told to wait there.
But we found her brooch in a crime scene room with Maki, correct? How was he then?
He seemed as he always does, though I believe he was shocked by the news of Mr. Latos's death. Yet, he is not the type to show much emotion.
Yes, he's given the police no end of headaches. He answers most questions with silence, and those glinting frames speak nothing. The questioning hasn't gotten very far.
We sat there, waiting.
How was the incident explained to you?
I was told nothing in detail, only that Mr. Latos died.
Of course, investigations require some security.
But Mr. Latos was my manager. I wanted to know more. I should have been told. Both Maki and I were beside ourselves with concern.
Allow me to apologize, but please understand. Keeping you in the dark was as painful for me as it was for you.
Yes, I understand.
Think, what doesn't ring true about her testimony? This one's pretty easy.
It's hard to imagine Lamar lying.
She might not be lying, but she's hiding something. What wouldn't she tell me the night of the murder? I was told to wait there. Okay, so which one do I present on? Is it here or here? I was led by the police to Mr. Gavin's dressing room and told to wait there. I think I present here. Just gonna go with my gut here. And I'm wrong. I'm sorry, but I can see nothing faulty. Unfortunately, I will have to penalize you, Mr. Justice. I must be on the wrong track. No, I'm definitely on the right track. There we go. Guess I just flipped the coin wrong. I'm sorry, Lamar, but I'm having trouble believing you. You remember this brooch, do you not? Why, that's Lamar's. She was wearing it for her song. Care to add that to the testimony, Prosecutor Gavin? What? This brooch was found after the murder took place, at the very scene of the crime. What? Lamar, how did your brooch get backstage if you did not go there yourself? And as Prosecutor Gavin just told us, you had been wearing it during your performance that night. What is the meaning of this? Lamar, please explain.
Lamar? She says English is quite difficult. That trick's not going to work here. Your forehead may be large, but you are a lawyer, truly. But you have missed one important fact. What now? In fact, at the time of the incident, I went backstage, but only for a moment. What? Only for a moment. Think back to the moment of the crime. You know whereof I speak. Is she really saying all that?
What you talking about, Apollo?
Right when the incident occurred. Is she talking about that? Watch this room for me. I have to call for backup. Right, understood. You want me to make sure no one comes in, right? And then I leave. Mr. Latos, can you hear me?
Cold, so cold. Witness.
Cold? Don't worry, you're going to be fine. Help is on the way.
The witness is siren.
Siren? How can a siren witness anything? Yipes! Emma? What was that? Who's there?
What's wrong?
Emma, did you see anyone just now?
Huh? No.
I could have sworn I heard I heard a door close.
I looked into the room, just a glance, mind you.
So, this is when your brooch dropped. Brooch, tomato. That explains that.
It does. There was no other time I could have dropped it.
But that's ridiculous. You only looked in for an instant, but you dropped your brooch? Her forehead? She has raised a possibility. The only thing that can counter that is evidence.
So, she looked in at the crime scene.
Actually, I intended to go into the dressing room. I knew nothing of what had happened, of course. But the moment I opened the door, I heard a horrible voice.
Her forehead shouting, "Who's there?" no doubt. A horrible voice indeed. Yeah. Can't call my voice horrible. I trained in cords of steel.
I closed the door immediately.
Well, that explains the brooch. Let's return to your testimony.
That's too convenient. She's hiding something. Lamar, you did look into the room though, right?
Yes.
Testify as to what you saw.
Very well. Though it was only the briefest of glimpses.
Oh, it's glowing. Oh shit. Was it always glowing? Went backstage for just a moment. What did you see in that brief glimpse?
I had only opened the door slightly when I heard that horrible voice.
Shut the door.
I've always wondered, Hair Forehead, does that voice of yours lack a volume knob? It's my cords of steel, man. Just back off. Yeah, the bracelet's spinning now. Glowing. Saw nothing. The late Mr. Latus's body was behind a wall. Do I have a map of the room? I mean, could you have seen... No, she said she saw nothing. A wall? Was there a wall there?
Is what in English?
A division, or partition, I believe. It was a large dressing room, divided into two halves, and the murder took place in the inside half. I guess that partition might have hidden the body. And was led by the police to Mr. Gavin's dressing room and was told to wait there. With Maki, correct? How was he then?
He seemed as he always does, though I believe he was shocked by the news of Mr. Latos's death. Yet, he is not the type to show much emotion.
Yes, he's given the police no end of headaches. He answers most questions with silence, and those glinting frames speak nothing. Questioning hasn't gotten very far.
We sat there waiting.
Alright, so we're still in the same testimony. Let's see if we can look closer. Let's look at her hands. Let's hear that again. I saw nothing. I'm guessing that we have to do this on our own now, right? Chusi's not going to tell us when we have to receive. The statement doesn't seem very sus though, in terms of this. Can't really see anything going on. Why is she not moving her mouth here? That's weird, wasn't it? She was talking without moving her mouth. She's swallowing. Okay. I think that's it. Don't make a swallowing joke, don't make a swallowing joke, don't make a swallowing joke. There it is.
Gotcha!
The late Mr. Latos's body, you say?
Yes?
You know something more about Mr. Latos's death than you are saying.
What?
I could see you trying not to remember. But the effort made you swallow. You can't fool my eyes.
It is true. It was so terrible after all. Why did Mr. Latos have to be shot?
One moment, Lamar. Yes? What was that you just said? She said shot. There was no way she could have known. Why did Mr. Latos have to be shot?
Yes?
She was hiding something, I knew it. Lamar, I'm afraid you haven't realized it, but your words just now contradict your testimony.
Eh? How could that be?
Take this. And I have the evidence to prove it. Is it the diagram? Or what? Alright, try to think about the logic here. She said that she saw the shot body, right? So it has to be the diagram, because it shows the partition in between the door and the body.
If I do not misunderstand the meaning of contradiction, it is you who contradict, Mr. Justice.
Huh?
Your evidence is meaningless.
Are you kidding me? Ah, wrong evidence. Gotta think this over. Did she say again? Man. Why am I unlucky? Victim shot in the shoulder in Lamar's room. Maybe it's the autopsy? Death between 9 and 9:30. Blood loss due to 45 caliber bullet wound. Time elapsed between shooting and death currently under review. To ensure the efficiency and secrecy of our investigation, the bearer is hereby ordered to speak to no one outside the investigation concerning any details of the case. Maybe it's this. I don't know. Because this is gonna be, like, proving that there was no way she could have known. I hope I'm right. Tell me, Lamar. How did you know he had been shot?
Huh? Well,
Immediately following the incident, a gag order was placed on the scene. This is the document proving that. In your testimony, you told the court. No one told me anything about the incident. Furthermore, you testified that you had seen something. Seen nothing. Oh, that was the complete opposite of what I meant to say. Yet you knew that Mr. Latus had been shot. How could you have known? York! Got him. Lamar, you weren't hiding something from this court, I hope. That sweet song of hers was sounding a little too sweet.
now I remember. Please, allow me to add to my testimony.
Of course. All we want to know is the truth.
She looks kind of pale, huh?
She saw something, I know it. Even the victim said so. Alright, I'm gonna save here just in case. No. Saw bullet holes in the wall. I knew Mr. Latus had been shot. Only a glimpse, yet you knew they were bullet holes.
Yes, I recognized them immediately. I have seen bullet holes before, you know.
You have traveled the world as a singer. You must have sung in places far more dangerous than our country.
I go wherever my voice is needed. Those places are many these days. That's really cool. I hope I get to travel like Lamar someday.
I plan on recording my next album overseas. Their studios have a different sound, you know. Maybe I should go on a Chords of Steel tour too. Everyone's going on tour. Oops, not what I meant to press. Let's see here. Here we are. There was no way she could have seen the bullet holes because the door was blocking them. Sorry, lady. Lamar, they call you the siren of the ballad, but lies are hardly becoming of such a creature. Put down worthy of our prosecutor, Mr. Justice.
Such put-downs are hardly becoming of you, Apollo.
Stop polishing your forehead and start polishing your character, yeah? Come on, can't I be cool for once? Even the game is not letting Apollo be cool. Come on. Cut the guy some slack. He's trying. Observe the diagram. Lamar, you looked in from the door for just a moment. Correct? Apollo really going through it? He is. Feel bad for the guy.
Yes, that is so.
There were bullet holes in the room, yes. But they were in the wall the door is on.
Huh?
You see? Assuming you merely glanced into the room,
You couldn't have seen those bullet holes.
York!
What is that scream?
York!
Lamar?
Yes?
I'm afraid the defense has raised a good point. It appears you have been holding back something.
And I must tell you what it is that I saw.
Yes. The happenings in this trial are being recorded. Such an undignified scream. It really is. It kind of caught me off guard. And I'm certain it will be on the news in Borginia. You understand your reputation is at stake. It falls to you to avoid tarnishing it.
Personally speaking, I still believe that cross-examining her will yield us absolutely nothing. But she knew how Mr. Latus died, and he named her as a witness. You must have seen something, Lamar.
Very well. Lamar, please continue your testimony.
Very well, I shall.
What I saw, too. The long-awaited sequel.
I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit.
Oh, you saw from the window.
There was something like a little window there. That's how I saw it. There were 2 shots. I couldn't do anything to stop it. But it wasn't Maki. It was a grown person. I know it was.
So you did witness the crime. And the killer was a grown person, you say?
This is my first time hearing this, I assure you. Nice play, Hair Forehead.
Very well, Hair. Mr. Justice, you may begin your cross-examination.
Where are you going, Apollo? You were right about Lamar. Well, what's wrong? You don't look too happy.
This whole thing smells fishy. That's what's wrong. Yeah, that's all. That's the best description she could give? A grown person? So you were heading toward the dressing room.
Yes.
So this is a little before she opened the dressing room door and opened her brooch. And dropped her brooch. Sorry. Before she opened the dressing room door and dropped her brooch. Okay. About the same time Emma and I heard those shots.
I was on my way back.
Little window there. Checks out. What exactly is something like a little window?
Yes, well, window is the best word I know in English. I think this is how it is said, yes?
You need not worry, Lamar. Your choice of words is impeccable. There was a small window in the dressing room in question. Perhaps the defense remembers this detail? That little window on the wall.
I saw the crime from there.
Her little head like poking through the window. It's kind of funny. But it does say do not open on the window, so I wonder how it was opened. For 2 shots. You were certain you heard 2 shots fired.
Yes, quite certain. I was on my way to the backstage exit. This was when I heard a faint sound, like a gunshot. Wondering what it had been, I peered through the window. That is when I heard the second gunshot, much closer.
And there were 2 bullet holes at the scene. No contradictions so far.
It all happened on the other side of that window. There was nothing I could do.
It wasn't Maki. It wasn't Maki who shot, are you sure?
Yes, quite certain.
It amuses me that you would question her testimony. It is testimony in your favor. Isn't it my job to object?
Yeah, Apollo, what were you thinking?
Trucy, let's just listen to what Lamar has to say. Can you tell me how you were so sure?
Yes, of course. You see,
It was a grown person. I know it was. This is suspicious. A grown person? That's a little vague.
I'm sorry. My skill with your language is lacking, I know.
Certainly, you could at least see whether the shooter was male or female.
It was a man, a young man.
And you're sure of that?
Yes, his voice was quite clear.
Voice.
Looking at this diagram, it seems the dressing room was quite cluttered. It does seem likely that you wouldn't have a clear view of the shooter.
But wouldn't the shooter be behind the victim? Because the victim was shot in the shoulder. He fell over in front of him, right? And there were bullets. The bullets were shot towards the door. So that means the killer must have been in between the window and the victim.
As a singer, I rely more on my ears than my eyes. When I hear a voice, I do not forget it. That voice was the voice of a man.
So you heard a voice, but wait. Couldn't that have been the victim, Mr. Latus?
Absolutely not. Did I not just say that I do not forget a voice? If it was Mr. Latos who spoke, I would have known.
Indeed. So you were at the window and you heard the shooter's voice, the voice of a young man.
Apollo, this is good testimony. That proves it wasn't Maki.
Indeed. This turns out to be true. This would cast this case in a considerably different light. What is the defense's opinion of this testimony?
I mean, on one hand, it's pretty good for us, but there's also some places where it would not fit at all. I'm going to say it's contradictory. Though it pains me to say this, there's something about Lamar's testimony that rings false. Bravo, Herr Forehead. You're colder than I thought. I'm sure you remember what the problem is as well as I do, Gavin. As has been established, no grown man could pass through that air vent. He couldn't have fled the scene of the crime.
But that means Lamar has to be lying.
I know, and it's bad for our case, but I can't shut my eyes to this. Believe me, the idea was tempting. It is, as the Herr Forehead says. Yet, this is not the only contradiction within her testimony. But what next? What's he talking about? Lamar, I understand why you would want to protect Maki. Yet remember, you are the siren of the ballad, and lies do not become such a creature. Hey, he stole my burn!
What does the prosecution mean?
He stole my burn, and they're not roasting Javier at all. Truly live in a society.
Apollo, what's he talking about?
How come no one bats an eye when he says stuff like that? That's what I'm saying. I recall the state of the crime scene quite well. State of the room. Yes, and when the murder took place, that window was closed. Okay, it was closed, not open. For some reason I thought the window was open. I find it hard to believe you could hear a voice through it.
What? But I'm sure...
Memoir. I have nothing but the highest regard for your musical sense. My opinion of you as a witness is somewhat lesser. But she's the only eyewitness we have. So you say. And the victim named her the Siren as the witness. That's right. That's what Mr. Latus. We heard your claim. We even entertained the possibility. And it brought us to this. Herr Judge,
Yes?
the prosecution requests that the witness be excused. Please.
Afraid I must honor the prosecution's request. There is indeed a question of the witness's credibility.
But if Lamar can't testify,
Then we don't have a chance of proving Maki's innocence.
This cross-examination is over. Prosecutor Gavin, you may continue making your case.
Danke. Now, where were we? Ah, yes. I would like to hear from Fräulein Detective again.
Objection!
Wait, let me hear Lamar's testimony one last time.
But the cross-examination is already over. Until such a time as a need arises, this witness may leave the stand.
I'm sorry I could not be of more assistance.
Fuck. At last, back to the real trial. Ready, Hair Forehead?
Yeah.
I hope I didn't just miss my only chance. Fräulein Detective, how far had we gotten until we were so rudely interrupted? Don't ask me. I dislike saying the same thing twice, and I never repeat a song for an encore.
If you would, Miss Sky.
I believe I was saying that the only way Mr. Lotus's killer could have escaped was through that air vent on the ceiling.
Ah, yes, there was only one door in the room, and a witness, you, was standing in front of it.
That air vent isn't very big, see? Kind of limits the people who could possibly get through.
I certainly would have a difficult time.
Sure would.
Not that you would have been there in the first place, though.
Remember, the whole backstage area was off limits to people not involved with the concert.
The only one who meets the conditions for a killer is the defendant. Virtuoso performance. I couldn't have put it better myself.
She does state a clear case. Though, reading the report, something caught my eye.
Oh? What's that?
The circumstances of the defendant's arrest.
Circumstances? Again?
Hey, that's right, Apollo. Remember when we found Maki? That was bizarre.
It was. She's right. Why did Mr. Lotus's body disappear from the room? Why was he holding the guitar? And end up on top of that stage tower? Holding a guitar, no less. A perceptive observation, Herr Judge.
Thanks. It was kind of an accident, really. But you work in this job long enough, you get to know some things.
The judge sure seems pleased with himself.
Very good, Fräulein Detective. Perhaps you can tie it all together for us. Why was the body moved? And how does that lead us to the killer? The missing body. Okay. Getting pumped up. Music speeding up.
I believe Maki stole the body because of some lyrics. He moved the body to match Lamar's song. No one in this country had a motive to kill the victim. And Maki practically left his signature at the scene.
All of this evidence clearly points to the defendant. Lamar's song? Yes, the guitar serenade. You noticed its code too, did you not? Its code. All the events that day followed the lyrics to our song. First, the keys my heart held onto so tightly were stolen. Then Prosecutor Gavin's... Oh, sorry. That's me. Then Prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flames on stage. Mr. Lotus's life was taken by a bullet. The rest hardly needs explanation. Guitar, guitar, up together to the sky.
That's mad. It's like a story out of some fairy tale.
I admit, I'd forgotten about the song. There it is now, waiting for me. Grand finale, as it were.
Hey, you know I was the one who first noticed that.
Good job, Juicy. What do you want? Head pats? I've heard of jumping rope to songs and counting to songs, but killing? It's a wild world out there, Her Judge. Very well. Heard one song and dance, let's get on to the next. The cross-examination. I'm not so sure I'm going to be doing much singing. A missing body. Alright. Who would steal a body just to match some lyrics?
I didn't believe it myself, but it can't just be a coincidence.
It's as Fraulein Detective says. Let us begin with the first verse. If you would, Fraulein Detective.
What? You want me to sing it?
You are the witness, yeah? Or did you want me to sing? I warn you, my fee as a vocalist is not trivial.
I mean, fine. Let's look at the first part of the lyrics, shall we?
Oh shit, I have to sing now.
The keys, my heart held on to so tight. Oh, fuck.
I can't sing with the Emma voice. I'm sorry. Indeed, my favorite heart-shaped key ring was stolen that morning.
Next we go right to the page, go to the right page of the lyric sheet, where we find burning on in my heart fire, burn my love away, all away.
Oh shit, it's 3D Gavin.
Like a bullet of love.
It doesn't help that the lyrics are not matched with the notes on screen. Yeah, it's not at all. Honestly, I don't even know why I tried. Bam. I can assure you, I'm a much better singer than that. If I don't try to, like, imitate a woman.
Mr. Latus's life was taken by a bullet.
Bravo, Fraulein Detective. You're singing. It's not bad. Now for the finale. Oh, Clavier is singing this. I'm still not gonna sing, though. Guitar, guitar, up together to the sky. As it says in the lyrics, Mr. Latus. Was found with a guitar, high in the sky over the stage. No series of coincidences could be so well conceived.
He's right, scientifically speaking.
What would Waki have said? That concert was whack. Oh shit. I didn't think we'd bring up Waki.
Man, that concert was whack. It's hard to argue when she pours her heart into it like that. Anyway, the shooter.
Does the prosecution have any idea why he'd do all this?
You want my scientific opinion? No clue. But he clearly had a reason to go through all that trouble. Some deep reason.
A deep reason? Not only did he steal my keys, he torched my guitar! Unforgivable acts even if he had a reason. And worse if he had none.
The Diva's complaints aside, I can't imagine someone doing this
on just a whim. Prowling detective, I take offense at that description.
Indeed, it does seem too well rehearsed, shall we say.
Yes, this crime was planned for sure. No one in the country had a motive. But Mr. Latus spoke English. He may have come to this country before. I looked into that, I assure you.
Oh,
It was his first time in the country, it seems. Apparently, he learned English on his own. Great. You see, no one here had a motive to kill him. Certainly not in such an elaborate fashion.
does seem difficult to imagine.
Unless our famous prosecutor did it as a publicity stunt. What did you say?
Prosecutor Gavin, you did this to promote your song?
Yeah. Let's go with this for now. Of course not. And I am quite dismayed by the ludicrous nature of her claim. Why would I need a promotion? Everyone already listens to my music. They're even in my textbook at school.
Really?
And I'd never heard of them. What does that say about me?
You live under a rock, Apollo.
I was just kidding. Don't get all worked up, Glimmer Boy.
Glimmer Boy? That's new.
What do you mean by his signature? Fingerprints, right? The bullet holes in the wall, of course.
The bullet holes?
Those aren't fingerprints. The revolver was fired twice. One shot missed and left a hole in the wall.
That means what exactly?
That dressing room isn't exactly spacious. Picture the shooter facing off with the victim in there. They can't have been more than 5 feet apart. It would be difficult, almost impossible to miss at that range.
Difficult to miss, you say?
Very. Assuming the shooter could properly aim.
No! You can't be serious!
Maki, he can't see! That's why he missed? It's the only explanation that makes sense. He used sound and other senses to fire the gun. Poorly. That reminds me, the monitor in that room was blaring at the time, yeah? Hardly ideal conditions for tracking by sound.
A blind shooter. No wonder he missed.
I knew those bullet holes would come back to haunt me. Think, Justice, what do I do now? Okay, but if you did shoot the gun, then the recoil would have injured him. Sure, there were bullet holes left in the wall. That doesn't prove the shooter couldn't see. Oh? How so?
Well, there could have been a struggle with the victim. That's certainly possible.
And it might have been the revolver's fault.
The revolver?
The revolver was a very large caliber, correct?
The shooter wasn't used to firing such a large weapon. Why? It could dislocate their shoulder.
Exactly. The defendant, Maki Tobae, is, as you can see, tiny. It's not so hard to picture him firing the gun and missing entirely. The kickback alone would throw off his aim.
A convincing argument to be sure.
Take that, smug prosecution. Apollo?
Huh? What?
That bit about Maki being tiny. And the gun throwing off his aim? Aren't you kind of, admitting that he did it?
Oh. We fucked up.
No, we didn't, because there was no way Maki could have been trained to fire such a powerful weapon. If he did shoot it at all, then he would have been injured. 100%. It does not matter why he missed. What matters is that the shooter was, without a doubt, the defendant. Even the defense seems to agree on that point. Yeah. Cripes, I really put my foot in this time. But let's get the facts of the matter on the record. If If you would, Fräulein Detective. Right. I conclude the shooter was blind. You can't say he was blind just because of those bullet holes in the wall. I think I've proven that. I wouldn't call it proof per se. Huh? You've merely raised a possibility. Fräulein Detective has made the most logical conjecture based upon the evidence. Of course, there was more evidence than just bullet holes. The defendant was the only one who could have escaped through the air vent. But wait, if he was blind, how would he know about the air vent in the first place? Ah, a very good point. Well, Fräulein Detective, if you would care to explain. He certainly seems sure of himself. Call the crime scene. Climb scene? No. Crime scene, if you would. There's a stepladder before the, below. I'm not doing this right at all. Bloopers. They're bloopers, let's call them that. There's a stepladder below the air vent. As it happens, maintenance was scheduled for that day. Custodial staff went around checking all the air vents. I don't believe it. Everyone backstage was told about the maintenance, including Maki Tobaye. You would have known that there would be a way out at the top of that stepladder. But why is this the first time I'm hearing about this? You could have figured it out for yourself. You only needed to consider what that stepladder was doing there. Looks like the defense's objection has been squished by a stepladder. Well, hair forehead? Out of ammunition, perhaps. I've never seen Prosecutor Gavin so aggressive. Maybe he's caught the scent of blood. Apollo, don't you have something? Anything? You know what we need? We need something to prove the killer could see. That'll put him in his place. Proving the shooter was sighted would do it. I would take down one of their central points. Do I have any evidence to prove that, though? Oh, you know what? Stage controls. How would Maki be able to use the stage controls to raise the platform without being able to see them? I'm sure the stage controls didn't have braille on them. It's not the mixing board, though. I don't have any evidence for that. It's fucked up. Do I have any evidence to prove that he could see? Maki knew what the lyrics were beforehand, right? I mean, he had to perform the song on piano. How could Maki have seen? I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to give up, though. Sure, there's something. Is Guilty Love the only song that we can play? We already inspected that. Inspected the keyring already. Okay, well, I don't really have anything here that supports my theory about the stage. Let's go through everything one by one again. Lyric sheet. No. Maybe I though. Maybe. No. Maki for sure knew what the lyrics were beforehand, so he would have known. Postcard. That doesn't mean anything, right? Yeah, no. Investigation request. No. Revolver. No. Roach. No. Mixing board. No. Keyring. No. Autopsy. No. Crime photo. Oh. Maybe. Maybe it's this. Because the message was smeared off, right? There's no way Lettuce would smear off his own dying message in blood. So that proves that the killer must have been able to see the message. Yeah, there we go. Let's try that. Fine, I accept the prosecution's challenge. As I knew you would, Hair Forehead. What exactly am I up against here? Prosecution is saying the shooter missed because they couldn't see. Therefore, Maki, who's blind, did it. The defense will please present their evidence. Evidence that overturns the prosecution's claim that the shooter could not see. I present this to the court. This is that evidence. Bingo. The photograph of the crime scene. I don't care much with the smirk on Prosecutor Gavin's face. I'm a genius. But this is no time to think twice. Time to press on. Yes, Your Honor, the crime scene. There is something in here that decisively contradicts the prosecution's point. Then perhaps you'd best show us this something. Get your finger out of the breeze and put it to good use, yeah? Well, very well. Show us what you're talking about, Mr. Justice. Contradiction at the scene of the crime is this. The contradiction is right here. The smeared bloodstains. I thought it was just my blurry vision, but it really was blurry. The way the victim's hand is raised above his head, much like a gesture I've seen many times in this court.
It's almost as if he wrote something. Aha! I get it. At least, I think I get it.
Get what, Fraulein?
When Mr. Latas was shot, he tried to write something. And what would he write but the shooter's name? And what would he write in his, but his own blood? Pretty good, huh?
Thanks for making my point for me. Yes, in fact, that's what I think happened here. That does seem to be a distinct possibility.
The victim wrote the killer's name. It's certainly a logical conclusion. Drat. I just wish it wasn't all rubbed out like that.
Of course it's rubbed out. Why? If I were a killer, I certainly wouldn't want to leave my own name behind.
Neither would I. Silence.
No one else has anything to say? About what?
So the prosecution accepts this. You agree this was the victim making an attempt to record the name of the killer, and that the killer tried to rub the name out. What's your point? What's my point? Let me ask you this. How did the killer know the victim was writing their name? Well, Mr. Litzos was writing something in blood. Once the killer saw what it was... Wait.
There it is. Took you guys a minute. Once he saw what it was.
But what did you just testify about the shooter? I said they were blind. Ah! Yet the crime scene itself contradicts that. The killer had to have been able to see. Why would they rub out the name in blood otherwise? He couldn't have been the shooter.
Man. Emma, I thought you were a good detective.
Impossible!
Order, order, order. Prosecutor Gavin, please explain to me what all this means. I mean, looking at this photo, it seems quite clear that the shooter could see. Yet, up until now...
It seems I owe the court an apology. Gaviners are a band with law enforcement ties, yet a murder occurred. You gotta go, but gonna lurk? Yeah, no problem. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for enjoying my stream. You're crushing it? Oh, thank you. During our concert, apparently this caused some confusion over jurisdiction. As a result, some reports were not filed in an entirely timely manner. I'm not sure I like the vibe I'm getting here. Hey, Apollo, look at him. Why is Prosecutor Gavin all relaxed and smiling like that? Like he knows something we don't. And he's about to tell us. I've got an idea. Let's rock! With these documents. But before that, I have a question for the Fräulein detective, if I may. What? Tell me, why do you think that Maki Tobae is blind? Huh? What did he say? What are you saying? Of course he's blind. Of course. He's the blind pianist, right? So he's... Doesn't Lamar lead him around by the hand all the time? No way. I have a report here on the defendant, Maki Tobae. According to this, Maki Tobae can see perfectly well. What? His blindness was merely a publicity ploy by those clever Borginians. He can see quite well. But you said... What did I say exactly? Her forehead, not once in the course of this trial have I claimed the defendant was blind. The only one who did was Fräulein Detective. But that's... a significant fact, yes. Consider, Maki Tobae sees. And he was the one who could have fled through the air vent. I see no problems with this. But what about the bullet holes in the wall? Yes, the bullet holes. I believe her forehead neatly explained those for us. He didn't miss because he couldn't see. It was the kickback from the .45 caliber revolver. A simple accident, in other words. Whoa, it's the first time I'm seeing this zoom in. How's that? I'm afraid your objection is just blown off from brighter skies. This is where the real fun begins, Hair Forehead. Yeah. The real fun, huh? I knew you didn't have what it took. You jerk. Just what was I in here for? Comic relief? Yeah, apologize. Oh, sorry. That's no way to apologize. He's angered the Trucy now. Look out.
If we can please end the bickering now.
Whatever, I'm not leaving. I can't leave like this. I'll come up with some clue to solving this case if it kills me.
But your testimony has already given us enough to convict the defendant.
Ah, don't say that. Aha.
Aha, what?
This bloodstain. The criminal tried to wipe it off, right?
That seems to be what happened, yes?
We might be able to find out what was really written here.
Really? You can do that?
That's right, with this. It's called luminol. Maybe you know of it. It's a chemical that reacts to blood.
Oh, I know of it. I played Zero Escape.
Ah, yes. Have we done those tests yet? Ha! As if I'm going to tell you.
The bloodstains covered a section of the carpet. In order to perform blood tests, that section was removed and submitted. Perhaps we should request it here in court now. Oh, we're doing in-court luminol testing. Great.
Right, go for it, Apollo.
Huh? I have to do the test?
You just have to spray the luminol on it. Simple.
Chemical that reacts to blood. I've heard of this somewhere. Maybe Apollo played Virtue's last word.
Yes, I believe an analysis is called for. Have at it.
Here you go.
Right, ready? It's easy as pie. Just touch the screen to spray an area. Here, give it a try.
The eyes of the entire court are focused on me.
Apollo, your hand's shaking.
Let's do this. Spray, spray, spray. Whoa, that is something. 14206. IPXX3? Sounds like a password. Wow, it really works.
This must be the power of science. It says IPXX314206. Is that the killer's name?
Maybe it is, if the killer was a robot.
Ah, I have it. So what is it? I thought those letters IPXX looked familiar. This is an Interpol ID number.
Interpol? You mean the International Police Agency?
Yes, most are undercover agents working to solve international crimes. But why would he write that number? How would Mr. Latos even know a number like that? Good show, fellow detective. Rock on.
Huh?
Your Honor, we can verify this number immediately. Darian, are you there? Come up to the witness stand. Oh shit, here comes Darian. What's up, bro? Darian, you heard what we need. Go check into this Interpol ID number. Sure thing, dude. Give me 30 minutes. No, give me 27.
Not sure what to think of all this. Prosecution's case is airtight, or so it seems. If this number is really that of an Interpol agent.
Oh wait, I know. What if Maki Tobai is really an undercover Interpol agent?
That would be a possibility.
Possibility, yes. And one that would mark him as the killer for certain.
Why did Mr. Latus know an Interpol ID number? That's what I want to know. Well, we have some time while we await Darian's report. Let's work on unraveling another mystery, shall we? A curious mystery concerning Maki Tobai. What are you talking about? Fraulein Detective, please accept my apologies. I received word that the defendant could, in fact, see, just before the trial began. It seemed too much of a bother to tell you.
You had me until that last bit.
Does this not raise a rather straightforward question?
Well, sure. Why did Maki pretend he couldn't see?
Exactly. It makes little sense. What do you think, Hair Forehead? Huh? Me? Maki Tobai pretended he was blind. Do you know why?
How could he know? Wait, Prosecutor Gavin knows why, doesn't he?
He's known from the start of the trial. He's been leading us on the... He's been leading on... Sorry, no. He's been leading us on the whole time. Something wrong? Do you think, perhaps, this is all some kind of game? Know that the moment I heard that report, I knew why.
I suppose people who have sold over 1 million records really are something else.
What does that have to do with anything? There was a reason Maki Tobei pretended to be blind.
Is there? Is it to do with the lyrics?
No, not this. A reason. But it wasn't for his own sake. Getting the picture now? It wasn't for himself? It wasn't? Was it for Lamar?
Well, Mr. Justice, can you present evidence that shows us why the defendant had to feign blindness?
Well, it says sightseeing music, right? Maybe it's that. Sightseeing. So she was the one who saw things in the duo of Lamar and Maki. I mean, it was all for appearances to keep up the contract, right? Maki had no reason to pretend he couldn't see, which means, no, it couldn't be. Good show, her forehead. It seems you've thought of something. Why can't I figure these things out on my own? I hate having to take my cues from this guy. Very well, look at this. This is why he was pretending he couldn't see.
That is Lamar?
Lamar and Maki Tobei call their relationship. In particular, their unique arrangement over the years before visiting our country. Lamar and her pianist, they would always walk together, she leading him by the hand. Even when they got on stage, she would lead him to the piano. She would walk all the way over there with him. That's right, because he was blind. In quotes. She led him at all times, never letting him go.
All times?
Yet we have just learned something that makes their arrangement peculiar indeed. Maki could see. Why did they have to keep up this act the whole time?
Well, wasn't it part of their performance?
I think there's a simpler explanation. Maki did not need to be led by the hand at all. That can only mean one thing. Really? Really? Wait, are you serious? I did not think of that. Lamar's blind? Really? It was all the other way around. The one who needed to be led by the hand was Lamar. That's pretty hard to fake, though. Usually when you lead someone by the hand, the leader is in front. So how is Maki able to lead Lamar if he's just being dragged behind the whole time? I am not convinced. But, you know, that's what the game wants to say, then so be it.
Well, what's this? So you mean to say that Lamar is... She's...
Yes, Your Honor. Lamar is blind. What? What?
Order! 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 This is crazy, Prosecutor Gavin.
Is it now?
Please shed some sanity on this madness. The defense has made an outrageous claim.
The only thing outrageous I see about the defense is his vast forehead. Yet I see it is not vast in vain. This time, he's quite correct.
But that makes no sense.
Yeah, wasn't she supposed to be the landscape painter in sound or something?
Well, since we have her here, why not ask Lamar herself? I believe she is still in the witness waiting room.
Apollo, what does this mean for our case?
Don't ask me, I had no idea she couldn't see. And even imagined it up until now.
Bailiff, bring in Lamar.
Oh boy. I mean, I guess she did seem a bit vacant-eyed. Lamar? It pains me deeply to call you before us again in this way, and yet I must.
Please do not be concerned on my behalf.
Those eyes, she really can't see? Really?
It is true. How funny it is that a tiny lie born in the Borginian countryside would one day grow to entangle the entire world.
So you are?
Yes, as I mentioned before, I have no memory of the time before I became Lamar. Know too that my memories begin in darkness. The word light has no meaning for Lamar.
I see.
You may recall me saying something toward the beginning of this trial, her forehead. What's that? I believe I said it was unfortunate this crime had no direct witnesses. Ah. Now, Lamar, I must ask you to stand once more. Will you testify to the court about your eyes?
Of course. It was never my intent to deceive any of you. May I begin, Your Honor?
Yes, of course. Though I admit, I'm a little lost here.
I think we're all a bit lost here, Your Honor. Lamar's eyes. You say it wasn't your intent to deceive, but I don't know. You've done nothing but deception so far.
I have no memory of the light. I debuted in a world of darkness and sound. My producer came up with my PR line before he knew this. So, silly as it may sound, I had to pretend I could see. Everyone on my staff knew, of course, but no others.
But this is a murder trial.
I apologize. It was part of my contract, you see. I was to keep my blindness a secret, no matter what. Music is everything for me. I never imagined something like this would.
She told us the truth in the beginning, and she said she saw nothing.
Very well. Does the defense have anything to add?
I'd like to cross-examine.
But what is there left to ask?
There was one thing in her testimony that bothered me. Perhaps it is best we let you get it out of your system. Someday you'll come to understand the importance of thinking for yourself.
Very well, the defense may proceed. However, be aware this court will not tolerate any questions deemed too stressful to the witness.
Okay, there's only one part that bothered me. So let me ask about that and I'll be happy. Will I get penalized for pressing poorly? Producer came up with my PR line before he knew this. So silly as it may sound, I pretend I could see. Everyone on my staff knew of course, but no others. When you say your staff, do you include Mr. Latus?
Of course. He was my manager.
So he knew. And that's what's been bugging me. Right, because Lettuce said that Siren was a witness, and if Siren was outside of the room, well, like, facing the window, looking through the window, looking in quotes, there was no way he would have known. Or maybe she was looking through the room, and Lettuce did see her, but Lettuce didn't know that Lamar was blind. It's either that or something else. I don't know. Either Lamar is right, and she is blind, and Lettuce that means Lettuce would be mistaken. But if Lettuce wasn't mistaken, that means Lamar is not blind. But I mean, we heard it from Lamar herself. She is blind. I believe I know what is bothering our young defense attorney. You are thinking of when you discovered the body, yes?
Is he right, Apollo?
Yes, I was.
No.
He's alive. Mr. Latus, can you hear me?
Cold. So cold. Witness.
You're cold? Don't worry, you're going to be fine. Help is on the way.
Can't see.
Hang in there, Mr. Latus. Tell me, who was the witness?
The witness is Siren.
Mr. Latus told me to ask the witness, and he named you. Why would he do that? You knew you were blind.
I don't know.
What did I just say? You need to learn to think for yourself. Meaning what? There was no mystery here if you recall everything he said. Think of his last words once more.
The witness, Siren. We've heard them many times, along with a little play acting by our defense.
I remember them well enough. I remember them well myself, but that statement is not to what I refer. I mean, what he said before that. Before? Came before that? Ugh! That's right. He tried to tell you. When he said, can't see, he wasn't talking about himself. He was talking about the witness.
See.
Too bad the defense did not. Well, Hair Forehead, try relaxing and looking at the facts first next time. Oh shit. We got owned.
Order, order.
Call Lamar's earlier testimony.
I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. There were 2 shots. I couldn't do anything to stop it.
But she couldn't have heard those gunshots. Thought we proved that.
That is not the most important point here.
The moment he was shot,
Mr. Latus witnessed her through that window. Why else would he have named her as the witness?
But I really did hear them. 2 gunshots, and the man's voice.
Unfortunately, such a thing was impossible. The window was closed. I feel like you could still hear gunshots through a wall. We've already run a simulation, of course. Okay, well, if they say so.
But it was so clear. If I heard that voice again, I would know it in an instant.
Your Honor? What is it, bailiff? Can't you see we're in session here?
We had the results back from the investigation.
Investigation?
Ah, the Interpol number that Mr. Latus left us.
Here we go. Let's hear it. We'll continue this cross-examination afterward. Detective Crescend, your report, please.
I asked Interpol about that number, dude. I'm sure you'll find their answer intriguing. Look, as always, Guardian.
Well, tell us about the number. Is the defendant a secret agent?
IPXX314206. The agent registered under that number was Romaine Lettuce. What? Stole my words again. Our undercover Interpol agent was Mr. Lettuce himself. He was apparently in the middle of an operation. So when he wrote those letters, he was trying to tell us his own identity. And a cautious killer tried to wipe them away.
Mr. Lettuce was an undercover Interpol agent. So him being Lamar's manager...
It's just a cover, most likely. There's one other important detail I found. Well, out with it.
concerns that 45 caliber revolver, the murder weapon. Apparently, it belonged to Romaine Lettuce. He had an Interpol permit to carry firearms, and the registration number on the revolver matched. So the victim was killed with his own weapon, which makes sense. It's hard to imagine someone who wasn't an Interpol agent with such a large revolver. So the victim was an Interpol agent on an undercover op. Wonder how that ties into everything.
It's got to tie in somehow, you'd think.
Yeah, somehow. Thanks for looking into that for us, Detective Crescend. It's a great help. Oh, no problem at all, Your Honor. I'll be heading out. Hold it.
Wait! Lamar.
Oh, that's the judge. Lamar, something the matter? Oh. Don't tell me Darian is the voice that Lamar heard.
That voice just now.
Darian?
Mr. Darian, is it? It was him. I'm sure of it.
It was him. Yeah, you aren't saying...
That voice I heard, talking to Mr. Latos, when I heard the gunshots fired. It was him. It was Darian.
Is this some kind of joke? The little, like, chord playing? What? Uh-oh. No way. I knew something was fishy about the Shark Man. The courtroom fell into such a chaotic state the trial had to be suspended temporarily. I've never seen that happen before. Of course, it's not every day that you get an accusation like that one. Lamar, fingering Darian Crescend. Not only is he a guitarist, he's a detective. Could it really have been his voice Lamar heard? Things were changing fast, and frankly, I wasn't sure I could keep up with it.
Hey, no whipping out now, Apollo.
To be continued. In the next Ace Attorney stream. Yeah, let's save. Alright. It's about time I go to sleep, so I'm gonna end it here. Thank you all for watching and enjoying my stream. I'll be back Sunday with another stream, probably near. And after that, I may take a break, so Apollo Justice might not be back for a while. I don't know, though. No guarantees. Just want to let you know ahead of time. But if I do stream Apollo Justice on the normal schedule, then it will be Tuesday. All right. That's all I have to say. So, I hope you all have a good night. Take care of yourself. And I'll see you guys soon. And this trial is something. But I kind of saw this coming. You know, Darian. I knew Darian was a little sus. I mean, just look at the guy. And he left in the middle of the performance, or he like messed up, something like that. Messed up his cue. Alright, that's all for me. For real this time.